Welcome to the Solo Grind, where we shine a light on the raw and real journey of being a solo entrepreneur. I am Teresa, your guide on this adventure of going it alone, without a safety net and without the rule book. The grind is real, my friend, and so are the wins, the freedom, and the joy of building success on your own terms. I'm here to debunk the myths, share some laughs, and share what it takes to thrive as a go-getter, busy, doing it all entrepreneur. Hello and welcome to this very special edition of the Solo Grind. We are actually recording this for my birthday. We're going to be releasing this on my birthday, which is Valentine's Day. And joining me here is my very good friend, best friend, Crystal. You guys have heard her on the podcast before. You've heard me talk about her probably a million times. And she's joining me here today because she's going to celebrate my birthday with me. So thank you, Crystal, for joining us.
Yay, I'm so excited to be here. Happy birthday.
Thank you. This is actually about a month before my birthday where we're recording this because I want to get it done and out there and ready and scheduled because I don't know what I'm going to be doing on my birthday. Not working, I can tell you that. But I wanted to kind of kick off my birthday celebrations with you because you're my best friend. You've been there with me for more years than I can count. You actually gave me these champagne glasses for one of my birthdays. I don't recall when, but that's okay. And because I also want to love on you and celebrate you because you just launched a book. Actually, at the time of this recording, your book is coming out tomorrow on Kindle and hard copy on Sunday, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So it's a big day for both of us. Yes. Lots to celebrate. Very excited.
I'm very excited. And so that's really what this episode about. So as you guys have been tuning in through the month of February, we're talking about love, loving your home or loving your business, loving yourself. All of those things has been focusing on love because cheesy as it is, February is the month of love. And that's what we do is we talk about that. But I think it's a good time to reframe. January is all about momentum and doing and busy and trying to make things happen. And we tend to forget ourselves in January and forget to take care of ourselves. We are focused on trying to make new things happen in our business that we don't necessarily love on our business the way we should. And we don't do things that are consistent that need to be done. And we don't love on ourselves and we don't love on our homes. So that is what we're doing this month is reframing all of that. And I'm just so excited you guys are here. So cheers, Crystal. First, we're going to toast. Cheers to you. We have, for those of you joining us in audio, Crystal has her wine glass that I bought her at some point. We've drank a lot of alcohol together. It's with water, I think. You're drinking with water.
Yeah, it has sparkly water. Correct.
Yes. And I have a champagne glass that Crystal bought for me from years ago that has sparkling water in it today. Funny enough, one of my first episodes on video when I had my little champagne glass out, that was actually clear tequila. So when you record something 5 times in a day and your recording equipment keeps glitching on you and you are facing a deadline that you have to meet, you end the day with tequila in a champagne glass because
yes. Amen, sister.
Amen. All right. So cheers to us, to your book, cheers to my birthday, to an amazing year, all the good stuff.
Yay.
All right. So since I have you here and I'm so proud of you and I'm so excited, I want you to tell us about the book. Tell us about loving your home. I have a lot to share how it has impacted me and how your influence has really impacted me. In fact, we both had these tearful messages the other day we sent to each other about that. But I want you to tell my audience about your book because I really think that everyone should get a copy because I think they would benefit, especially solo entrepreneurs who are constantly self-sacrificing. I think this is such a powerful thing. So I'm going to shut up now and I'm going to let you tell us more about your book.
Thank you. I would love to. Yes. And I did get emotional the other day too, because I don't let myself sit in the accomplishments. Like I think maybe, I don't know, a lot of entrepreneurs do the same thing. You accomplish something big or small and you don't pause and go, yes, I did it. So that was why I got sappy with you the other day was I was proud of myself for doing it, but mostly your influence, and I'm going to try not to get all teary-eyed and sappy, but your influence on my life and on my book. So I wrote a book called Loving Your Home. This is just a proof copy. I'm holding it up if you're watching on YouTube. I don't have the actual final copy yet because I'm going to buy it when it's on sale uh, the next couple days.
Yeah.
So, loving your home, clean up your focus, not your house. And it's really just a story about all the influences in my life and how I've learned to love my home. So you'll notice a lot of people that have read it said that they feel like it kind of reads like a memoir. And I do add a lot of anecdotal examples and stories in there
Mhm.
about how I've struggled with my home, but I struggled more than with just my home. I struggled with a lot of things because I had a lot of mindsets that were not helpful. My focus was in the wrong direction. And then I shifted my focus and amazing things happened. Freaking amazing things. I've accomplished so many things. And I really think it's because I stopped and I dropped the struggle, which I talk about in the book. And I focused on loving my home first because it was easier for me, and I think a lot of people, to focus on what's going on outside of you as opposed to in here in your brain and your heart. That's just a little bit more tangible. So as I was decluttering and organizing my home, shifts were happening inside my mindset and my heart, and I was able to drop a lot of the struggle. And I use my home as kind of
Mhm.
this big life-sized vision board. And anytime I tweak a certain area of my home, I notice certain areas of my life elevating and becoming more vibrant. So there's
Mhm.
a huge connection between your home and your life. There's a
Oh
huge
my
connection
gosh.
between your home and your mindset. So when you stop and pause, if you feel overwhelmed, and I know a lot of your audience are entrepreneurs, if you're overwhelmed in your business, stop. It's okay to stop.
Mhm.
Pause, step back, and as crazy as it sounds, look at your house, look at your office, look where you're sitting right now, look at your
Yes.
desk. What's going on around you? Are you feeling overwhelmed by all the clutter and chaos? And you and I were just talking about that a
Mhm.
second ago
Yeah.
about your desk and the situation
Yeah.
you had going on. And it was like, ah, and you switch something up and you're like, whoo, much better.
Mhm.
Um, so just pause and step back. And when you adjust things in your environment, there's energy attached to it.
Mhm.
You release that energy, and then your mind and your brain are just, you can breathe. So that was really long winded. This is basically, my book is basically a love story to myself. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Yeah.
Let's just say that in a nutshell. I wrote this for me. I dedicated it to my parents because they're in this book a lot.
Mhm.
Huge influence on how I live my life now. And they loved life. There's the
Oh
cartwheel
my
story
gosh.
inside my book, and that is a good example of loving
Mhm.
life and just letting it all hang out. And Teresa, I call her Terry. Terry got to witness that, so
Yeah.
I just think that's one of my favorite stories in there, and I've talked about it several times. But the cartwheel
Yeah.
story is fun. I
They
prefer that you share if you want to share what the cartwheel story is.
Oh, I will so share the cartwheel story. So, Leona and Willie have been a huge influence in my life as well. Like, I don't think that I would be the person I am today without them. And my parents are amazing and incredible and have definitely been there, but they were a balance to my parents' approach to life that that I really think I needed because they
Mhm.
are all about loving life and just being out there and living in the moment. And it kind of shocked the heck out of me. Like, my life was a lot more structured, like
Mhm.
every day we had, like, every Monday was like spam and macaroni and cheese night or whatever. I don't remember exactly what it was, but I do remember eating that. And Saturday mornings after cartoons, we clean the house. Like, everything was very laid out and very structured. And I
Mhm.
need that too. But when I'd go to your house, nothing was structured. Everything was fun,
Mhm.
and you never knew what was going to happen. And the Carvel story is a perfect example of that. So we're hanging out in your living room watching a movie or TV or whatever. I don't know what we were watching. We're hanging out in your living room, and your dad comes out of the bedroom at the back of the trailer and starts running down the hallway, stops at the living room, does a cartwheel, and sits on the couch next to us. And like, you and Candy were like, "Oh, that's my dad," and
Of course he does.
I was like speechless, which has almost never happened for me. Like, I always have words, but I was like, what in the hell just happened here? I was so confused. And so then I see your mom, she's in the kitchen, probably making us like grilled cheese. For whatever reason, your mom's grilled cheese were always my favorite.
Oh.
I don't even know why. But anyway, so she was probably doing something like that. And she looks at, what just happened in the living room. And I thought she was going to like say, start yelling or something, or like quit being dumb or, whatever. No,
Mhm.
instead she shouts, my turn, goes to the end of the hallway, runs down, does a cartwheel, sits on your dad's lap, and they kiss or whatever. I'm like,
Ta-da! Okay, so
I don't
you
even know what she
remember
did.
it better
Yeah.
than I do. So she sat on his lap, which makes sense. I just thought she plopped down next to him on the couch or something. But
Yeah.
yes, they're very physical and affectionate. So that makes a lot of sense. And so I love that you were there to witness that and give me that story to put in my book so people could understand the serious energy that I was surrounded by most of the time. It was all very like, I mean, they ended up getting divorced. Just spoiler alert, they're not married anymore. But yes, they were very passionate in
Very
all the ways.
passionate.
Yeah. So anyway, I
Yeah.
love that you were there. So yeah, so Teresa is in this book. Again, sorry about the banner across if you're looking at this on YouTube, but she is in my book a lot. So when you see the name Terry,
Yep.
Teri, that would be Teresa Schloop and all her influence. You've taught me so much about how to celebrate life too, and how to look at things from such a different perspective than I was ever. Even you were not exposed to this as a child. Somehow
No.
you just intuitively knew that there were different ways to look at the
Mhm.
world. And I was always searching too. I still
Mhm.
remember the moment where I'm like, okay, God, there's more. I'm not looking at this right. I remember searching like 30 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get emotional.
Cheers. No emotions. No.
So it's just real powerful. So
Yeah.
thank you. Stop it.
I told you the other day, like nobody cries alone in my presence. Like that's a strict rule
Yes.
that I have.
So,
So
I mean, the
what?
chapter that I have on power, a lot of that's influenced by you.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Okay. So, well, but let's
It's
talk
fun.
about that perspective because, like you said, neither one of us were raised to do this, to have that perspective, to look at things in a different way. My family, honestly, like as much as they're so fun and they're so amazing and so incredible, but they look for the insult. They look for the problem. They look for the struggle. And I think that
Mhm.
that is so ingrained in our society. Like, I'm not trying to point out fingers to my family and say y'all suck because they really
Sure,
don't.
of course not.
It's ingrained in our society to look for the struggle, to fall into victim or bitch mentality, to find this ugliness in the world and to latch onto it. I mean, just look at the news. Like I actually never watched the news. I haven't watched the news since 1997. And that is how long I have not watched
Mhm.
the news because
Good.
it's a perspective. It's one perspective in the world that is so overshadowing everything else that is good and amazing. And I don't know where my switch happened, but I do recall thinking I'm doing all the things I'm supposed to have a good life. Like I found a job that I love and a husband I love, and we had 3 kids and we bought a house and I'm checking all the boxes and my life freaking sucks. And I don't like this. And so why? Why do I not? And I started trying to look at things from different angles, like literally, like, what if I look over here? Or what if I look over here? Or how can I reframe this perspective? And shift things and change things. And over the years, like I've been able to get to a place, but you fueled that as well. I think we balance each other out in so many ways
Yeah.
because, like, the struggle, that was a hard one for me to let go of the struggle. And you talked a little bit about that when you were
Mhm.
sharing about your book, is letting go of the struggle. And that was hard for me because life is supposed to be a struggle. You're supposed to hustle and struggle to build your business. Building a business is hard and it's not going to be easy and it's not going to be fun. And we talk about all of that ugliness. And so we latch on to the struggle piece instead of sitting back and embracing the journey. It's
Yeah.
not a struggle, it's a journey and it's fun. And some days are hard. Some days you re record something 5 times and end the day with tequila. Other days you record 5 episodes successfully, like whatever the case
Yeah.
is. But you are the ones that really helped me figure out how to let go of that struggle at peace. And so
That.
share a little bit about how that has been in your life because I think you were the master of letting go of that struggle and really embracing the journey of life.
Thank you. That is the biggest compliment I think anybody could give me. Because the struggle's real, but it's not. It's not. It's a lie. It's a lie. The struggle is not real. So, what is it? Who is it? Wayne Dyer, I think, is always credited with saying this, but I think it goes way before him. I think it's not his original quote. Like when you shift the way you look at something, the things that you look at change, or how when you change the way you look
Change
at
your thoughts,
something.
change your life or something. He had a book, a
No,
whole book
yeah, when
called
you
that.
change the way you look at something, the things you look at change. Something along those lines, and it is so true. And I don't know how you. I've tried. With my organizing clients, with my professional or the membership site, the Loving Your Home Club, those members, with my children, you can tell people stuff. People can listen to this podcast and know that the journey is what's important, but
Yes.
they're still going to get sucked up into the struggle. It's just human nature. So
Mhm.
I would love to be able to tell you how I've done it. I don't know. Something just clicked. And I turned 50 and something just clicked. And I'm almost 52 now, and I'm finally like, I really don't care. I mean, which is a good thing. Like, I really don't care. Like, I've written this book, and that was for me. And if it sells, great. If it doesn't, great. If it resonates with somebody, that would be such a blessing to me. So great. But if it doesn't, that's okay too. So, being able to detach from the end result has been huge. That, and you can't just, I mean, how do you just do it? You just remind yourself over and over and over. And I sprinkle anchors around my house to remind myself to stay
Mhm.
grounded in what I know is true. And the end result is unimportant. It
Yeah.
really is. It doesn't matter what happens at the end. Do you finish the marathon? Do you not finish the marathon? Like, what did you learn along the way
Yeah.
on your journey? So I don't know if that really answers your question, but something just
Yeah.
clicked in my brain and I just felt like a weight lifted. I'm like, this really doesn't matter. In the whole scheme of things, it doesn't matter because I truly do
Mhm.
believe that there is infinite abundance. There is infinite
Mhm.
love. I can have whatever I want. I really do believe that. I don't think it's all that. I hate that woo woo word. I think it's not woo woo. It's true
Yeah.
because you attract to you what it is that you truly believe. And I love the fact that Albert Einstein, who I quote in my book, Albert Einstein tells us this. Like
Mhm.
and he's like, this is not like philosophy, this is physics. It's true. Like when you're on a certain level
Yeah.
vibrationally, your mind produces energy with your thoughts, and when
Mhm.
those thoughts are at a certain level, you're going to attract more things into your life that are on that level. And in my book, I talk about our friend Darla, and I know I attracted her into my life because I need her. I need Darla on
Mhm.
like a weekly basis to ask her questions on certain things.
Mhm.
And I know that's why I attracted you into my life. I attracted Rob into my life because you guys all have certain things that I aspire to be. It doesn't mean I'm already there. It just means I like love certain things about you guys that you are bringing into my life that I'm attracting into my life.
Mhm.
So one of those things, and then I'll stop talking about it, is attracting Robin to my life. We met when I was 17. And I
Mhm.
like to tell everybody too, Teresa was there. If it weren't for her, I wouldn't have met him because she was my ride to the party. So yay.
Yay. You're
But
welcome.
I always had a terrible lack mindset. I mean, I grew up in a family where we didn't have a whole lot of money. And I heard a lot of times, can never catch a break, can never catch a break. And so that became my mantra as well, too. So I was always like, I'm just
Mhm.
always going to be poor because that's just how life is. And Rob never has had that mindset, ever, ever, ever. It's not what attracted me to him because he was poor when I met him, too. And we were poor together for a while. But he just always knew that, of course, I can make $1 million. Of course, I can buy a second house. Of course, I mean, it never occurs to him that that's not an option.
He never
So,
questions what he can accomplish. Never. That's one of the things that I
mhm,
love about your husband is he never questions what he can accomplish. He just,
mhm.
I think I'm going to do this, and then he does.
And yes, and if he doesn't think he can do it, he ain't gonna let you know. He's not gonna verbalize it too. So that's another thing too is
Mm.
don't speak into your doubts. Don't speak into your
Mhm.
worries and your concerns. Don't give those things the power over you by talking into them because that brings more energy into it as
Yeah.
well. So
Yeah.
no complaining and blaming is going to be like my life rule for the rest of my life. I still every so often complain and blame, but
Oh
I
God,
bring
yeah.
myself back very quickly and I know that's not what I want to create for myself.
Yeah. There's one thing I want to move on to, but before I say that, what is it that Darla always says to us? Oh, I don't want to speak those words over him or something like that. I
Mhm.
love our friend Darla when she says that. She's like, I don't want to speak those words. Like she never complains about her husband, her kids, and
Mm-mm.
they're normal
Nope.
people. They do things to annoy her, they do things to love her. They're normal, like
That's
whatever.
right.
But
But we
she
don't know
never
about it.
yeah, she never said that. She goes, I don't want to speak those words over them. And I love that she says that. And I've actually tried or working on adopting that into my own world because it's such a powerful statement.
Yes.
I don't want to speak those words over. And it kind of leads into the point I wanted to make too is one of the things that you really have helped me is letting go of expectations. Expectations, I think, and it's a tough one because like you want to envision an amazing future, but expectations often latch onto other people and tie them into your vision. And then
Mm.
you expect them to show up a certain way. You expect them to do certain things. And this is something that's really been a game changer in my own marriage is Todd and I would have these expectations for each other that we never voiced. And we would be like, they should just know. He should just know that I want this, you know? And and it was a hard thing. And a couple years ago, I started telling him, honey, it's okay. I don't have any expectations of you. And at first, it hurt him when he said that. And I said, that doesn't mean I don't believe in you. I
Mhm.
100% believe in you, but I don't want to tell you how to live to make me happy. I want to be happy just being in your presence because I love the person that you are. And even now, like when he does something to annoy me, I'm like, oh my God, honey, I love you so much. That is so annoying, but I don't want you to change.
Does that confuse him at first?
And then he's just not anymore. He's like, what? But I'm like, I don't want you to change. I want you to be you. I don't want to have control over who that is.
Absolutely.
But I've shifted that into my whole aspect of life and business, especially. We put out these expectations of who our clients should be and what they should do and what they should know and how they should behave and all the shoulds that we put on them. And then we get mad when they don't show up the way we're expecting them to. And by letting go of that expectation and just really sitting back and getting to know the people who come to work with me and being like, hey, like, I want to know the real you. I want to see where you're at. We're able to create something so much more magical in my business because of that. And that is one of the biggest influences I think that you've given to me. And again, to switch back to we're talking about kind of loving your home, loving your life, loving your home, like our house has become a tribute to the life that we are building. Like right now, we've got so many projects going on. I'll have to see if I can post pictures. Maybe we'll have some of them done before this episode airs. But they're inspired by you because I'm making my house a tribute to that. I'm making my office a tribute to my clients, to this work, to the business that I'm doing. And like, we before we hopped on, that struggle piece, I was talking about how I was feeling so much anxiety and struggle in business and how things just weren't feeling right in my office. And weirdly enough, I took down my second monitor. That's all I did the other day is I took down my second monitor and I have been so productive and so on point since I took down that second monitor. So it was a small shift that I did and it was a powerful shift that really changed things. And I want to make one more point is that we get caught up in these expectations of what we should be as well. As a web designer, I think I need to have these big monitors so that I can look at all these screens at all time and this is what I'm supposed to have. And I forgot that I actually built this business on a 13-inch laptop.
Yep.
So letting go of that expectation of who I'm supposed to be as an established business owner with these big monitors and just going back down to a simple one monitor, bigger than a laptop this time.
Mhm.
But, it it took out the struggle that I'd been feeling for the past couple weeks.
Yes, because you were layering on expectations. I'm supposed to have big monitors. I'm a web designer. I'm supposed to look
Mhm.
like I'm doing this. Nobody else is looking at you though, but it's just for you to
Nobody else cares.
yes.
Nobody
And
even
can you
sees that part of
imagine?
my office usually because it's often pretty messy on this side of the camera. It's kind of messy. Like, there's notepads, some nuts, and whatever, water bottles all over the
You're
place.
creative, that's why. That's it's supposed to be like that. Yeah.
It works for me. It doesn't bother me. So, yeah.
Yes. And
But
can you imagine how much energy was swirling around in your office with two monitors? Because technology itself just woo, it's just filled with energy.
It
Just
is.
not like the device itself, but also like everything you have access to out into the world, and you had double that. And so it's a lot. It's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
good job
Absolutely.
quieting the noise and closing all of that down. That's awesome.
Yeah. And that I think is a big part of what your book helps people do is quiet the noise and give permission to live life, to run your business, because you were a successful business owner as well. You retired, you accomplished what you wanted to accomplish with that
I did.
business and decided to retire and focus more on the writing aspect of things. But you give us all permission to live the life that we are dreaming of. And that is what I love the most about your book. Now I'm going to get emotional.
Good. Absolutely. I remember when I was a kid, I used to think I want to be an advertising executive, and I want to like be this like businesswoman. And then I got into that world because I saw it on television. I'm like, that looks amazing. I love that woman. She looks awesome. Like those high
Right.
heels, that
Right.
cool suit, those shoulder pads, back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And then I did get into that world, and I was like, ew, I hate it. I hate it. This is not me at all. So it is okay to stumble through life a little bit too, and then just enjoy the ride and know that, like, well, that was just a stepping stone to something else. It's totally fine. And one thing leads to another, and just
Yeah.
just go with it, have fun, and celebrate each new experience.
Yeah. It's all the power of pivot, which we talked about in the first episode you joined us. So I'll put that in the show notes. People can tune in and listen to our first episode. We've both come a long way since we recorded that episode. So cheers to us
Absolutely.
again.
I know.
Yeah.
Cheers. Let me get my glass.
Cheers.
Cheers to you.
All right. Well, anything else that you want to share about the book? Because it is available on Amazon. Everyone can go out and buy it. When this airs, it will be fully available. You can buy hard copy, you can buy Kindle copy, whatever is your reading pleasure. I highly, highly recommend it. I will make sure there is links in the show notes for people to go and purchase. What else do you want to tell us before we say goodbye on this very special episode?
Oh, so special. Happy birthday again. Thank you for including me.
Yes.
I guess just as far as the book goes, there's a lot of mindset stuff in here, but
Mhm.
part two, that's all part one, because you got to work on what's going on up here before
Yeah.
you touch what's going on out there. You can organize. I organized first, and it helped
Mhm.
up here. But if I would have done it reverse and understood what was going on, I would have like been able to be on the fast track. So
I-
part
yeah.
two, there is a part two here, which is all about home. And I talk about individual parts of the home, just four different areas. And you
Mhm.
can apply everything that I talk about in those areas to the rest of your home. But just using certain home elements to kind of uplift your mood, and also decluttering and organizing. But those are just a small part of loving your home, and just
Mhm.
being nice to yourself and celebrating yourself and self-care. So anyway, so hopefully this is a
Mhm.
good reference book for
I
people
Yeah,
who
I
are
will
wanting
add
to
on.
level up in life.
Double up in life. I will add on to the correlation you have with the rooms and stuff, because it's so true. When my kitchen is a mess and decluttering, I am neglecting my health. Honestly,
Right.
when my bedroom is a mess and declutter or cluttered and everything like that, I'm neglecting my self-care. When my office is a disaster, I'm neglecting my business. And it's
Yep.
very true. When I notice that I'm not putting what I want to in any area of my life, I look at the room that represents it the most and I'm like, no wonder. And I will
Mhm.
start with just cleaning that area. Like set a timer for 20 minutes and see what I can get done in 20 minutes to shift it. And it's immediately shifts the energy. And that is something that you talk quite a bit about in your book, and it's very powerful.
And I like that you set a timer for 20 minutes. I do the
Mhm.
same thing. I give myself 15 minutes, and I'm like,
Mhm.
stop, be done with this chore. And I only let myself do two household things. I
Mhm.
have like, the basic stuff that I do, but two household things a day, if even that. And then
Mhm.
move on, because this is not about spending all day cleaning your house, which oddly enough, I could easily do. And then I get sucked up into like all the icky stuff that I didn't want to be sucked up into. So,
If I set a timer, I get sucked up into the icky stuff, or if I don't set a timer. And by
mhm.
setting a timer, then I'm like, okay, I can check this off my list. I can move on with my day, and I have accomplished something I can be proud of. And I can come back tomorrow and add to it if I need to.
Yes. The timer went off, you are accomplished. It does not matter if all of the dishes got washed. You're done. Woo! Celebrate.
Yay!
Yay. 20 minutes. I did it. I'm good. yeah, you don't have to do everything perfect. We talk a lot about in the book ideal, just kind of ideal. What would be like, or, you like the word exceptional, but perfect is ridiculous. Just move on.
Perfect is ridiculous. I like excellence and exceptional. Like I love to do things exceptionally well or with excellence, but that doesn't mean perfect. I mean, if you were to look in my kitchen right now, there's random things on my counter because
Mhm.
I'm rearranging all kinds of stuff in my house and I don't know what I want to do with them yet, but I want to keep them in the front of my mind. So they're just randomly laying on a counter because I will find their home soon.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
And
You're
it's
loving
not
your
perfect.
home.
There's no picture perfectness to it. There's, crumbs on the counter probably or whatever. Like it's not perfect. But we have a really exceptionally well designed, beautiful house too.
Yes, and it feels good. We didn't talk
It
about that at
feels
all. It's
good.
all about how it feels.
It
Feel
feels
comfortable.
good. Exactly. Exactly. All right. Well, Crystal, thank you so much for doing this episode with me. Thank you for starting off my birthday celebrations with me. And thanks again for always sharing your insights in everything you have.
You're welcome. And I got to tell you happy birthday first before
You
anybody
did. As
else.
well, I think you almost always do, actually.
Okay, good.
Sometimes Todd beats you, but that's okay. He's my husband. That works for him too. So all right. Thank you
Thank you for
guys so
having
much
me.
for tuning into this very special episode of the Solo Grind, for celebrating my birthday with me. Cheers to each and every one of you. I hope you go out and do something loving for yourself today because you definitely deserve it. And we will see you guys next week at our very next episode, where we're once again focusing on loving ourselves, loving our business, and loving our homes. Thanks for tuning in to the Solo Grind. I hope this episode brought you some inspiration and encouragement. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe, rate, and review the podcast, and feel free to share. For more tips and insights, visit caffeinecreative.io to check out my blog or explore the Creative Vault, my free course library. You can also find me on Facebook and Instagram. I'd love to hear how this episode has helped you.